he did it again. I don't know. He's getting better at this, or I'm getting worse, or something.
Oh, she's so much fun. I have so much fun with her all day long. She's just a good kid to play with.
Oh, yeah, we both have fun.
Yes, and we should always play. So you guys are probably familiar with Dr. Masaru Emoto and the consciousness of water experiments that he did. And he showed that water is in some ways like a blank slate. And we could put our intent into the water. We could actually change the structure of water.
Oh my gosh, we can. And when I learned how to do love-infused water, that was really one of the biggest life changers for me.
Yeah, he did a book called Hidden Messages in Water. And we could see, I mean, well, you guys know, there's certain music that might fire you up, make you want to get to the gym and hit a heavy bag. There's other music that can just make you blissful and make your heart expand in like a loving sense. And there's other sounds that could be almost painful to endure.
Yeah, they can. I've felt those sounds too. Usually it's the deep beats that hurt my body.
Yeah, many people are getting into the different frequencies. As we know, Cindy has got probably 100 tuning forks, maybe more. They're all over the house all the time. They're all over the camper. Different frequencies do different things. Like 417 hertz is really good for removing negative energies. Yes. And, we can vibrate, and vibration is the key. When we say like affirmations and stuff, if you vibrate that affirmation, especially if it's in, say, Sanskrit, which is a language that some have made the analogy that it's like a vocal computer program. It's so different than, say, English, far more ancient. And when we talk about language, Indo, which is, we're talking about that Sanskrit root. What we've talked about before, that these Sanskrit mantras, they actually are like tuned to the chakras, and they open up the chakras. And, Emoto here, he saw just saying different things, even in English or in Japanese, can cause new patterns to develop. And I want to thank our dear sister Terry for sending me a video, which I'm going to show you guys. And she came across it. Some of our favorite people did it. Compassion, beautiful, symmetrical, 6-pointed star. Interesting too, because we've talked about the 6-pointed star, the quote-unquote Star of David, which is really, again, representative of the Merkaba, the light body, which is the key to everything. And all that starts with the Kundalini, but the Kundalini starts with open chakras. So first we have to open up our chakras. Then the Kundalini grows, and the light body grows, and our Merkaba grows, and then we're not stuck here anymore.
I know there is a process to it, and I'm sure somewhere it's written down in very fine detail, but for us, we kind of have to learn as we go, but we are learning quite a lot. And this is like my favorite subject ever. This is the biggest thing that woke me up, and in a really good way too.
The true keys to heaven, they are in the Merkaba, because then you could go up into the higher densities. And we're going to try to get some more information to share more stuff that we've learned from some very high vibrational beings that you'll be familiar with. As Cindy can channel pretty much anything we end up putting our intent towards. And that's why we are also being monitored by certain powers that be very closely lately. Hi guys, I hope you're listening in. I hope you guys learned something here. So you could see how, just saying different things can change water. And by the way, the human body is made of, it depends on how old we are. When we're kids, our percentage of water can be in the 80s, and then we kind of dry up as we get older. But you could see the different percentage of water in different organs, like the brain, 83% water, kidneys, 83%, lungs, 85%, muscles, 75%. The heart 75%, eyes 95%, and blood is 94%. So obviously, the different sounds will affect us, especially when we put intention to them. And each chakra has a different frequency to it. So we need to vary the frequencies to open up the chakras. And of course, that gets into, Cindy's biofield tuning with the tuning forks. And then when we do a session, she's usually using the forks, but she's sending it out with her intent, which is also very powerful. And I send out energy through intent as well, just basically by utilizing the pineal gland, which in myself is activated. So the Gayatri Mantra is the oldest mantra we have. It's from the Rig Veda. Could be anywhere, around 6,500 years ago. And so the translation of it, one translation of it is that Supreme God who is the embodiment of life and happiness, the destroyer of all sins and suffering, we imbibe his divine qualities in our innermost being. May he guide our intellect on the path of truth and righteousness. And so, obviously that's nothing but positive. It's just basically invoking the true source of everything to help us and guide us.
And it's beautiful. And this is the one that I use. Connects me to the higher realms, 95% of the time. It's the Gayatri Mantra. It gets me where I need to be to go in trance to channel.
Yeah, and I'll do it in the mornings when we go out and do our first round of mantras in the sun, in full sunlight, consciously taking the energy into our bodies and just soaking it in.
Yes, the pore breathing is a really, really good idea, especially when you're out in the sun.
So it's a beautiful, beautiful mantra, and it is one, excuse me, guys, that is supposed to take away our bad karma.
Which is a great thing, so even if you're just saying it with the intent of take away my karma, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And we have here Deva Premal. It's my favorite version, really, of the Gayatri Mantra, and her husband, Miten. They've been doing this for decades and decades. They are absolutely beautiful spirits of light on this planet. It's interesting. In these times, they've moved to Costa Rica, and so they do daily mantras, videos, prayers from Costa Rica every single day. And they came to Sarasota, and they're just incredible. So this is about cymatics, and cymatics is the science and art of sound visualization. So this video illustrates how water responds to the Gayatri Mantra. And this is chanted by Deva, which, Deva is, again, a word for what we would call the gods. And, there is one source. And it's really, when you look at it, I was reading last night a book on Sophian Gnostic Christianity, which I started to study back in 2007. And had a real wild thing where there was an angelic light that just lit up the bedroom when I was reading the book. And, it's all the same. The ultimate source is kind of unknowable. It's consciousness. It's everywhere. It's everything. And in Sophian Gnostic tradition, the source of everything is referred to in a masculine sense. But of course, it's not limited to one gender, because that would mean that it's limited. It wouldn't be infinite if it's only one gender, And so this is where people have to open up their minds and let go of some of the programming. But very, very similar to Shiva and Shakti, because then it's manifest through the divine feminine. So, it takes that, and that's the yin and the yang, together they manifest this whole holographic fractal matrix that we find ourselves in.
And they use other beings to help us personify and understand this matrix that we all live in, to help, just give us a parallel as far as how things work.
So, these devas are beings that have made their way up to the very, very, very high realms vibrationally. And they're very compassionate, full of love, and they're here to guide us. And, so it's nothing to be feared, and they don't need our energy. They don't need us praying to them or whatever. But if we do send them an intent with a pure heart, they can take that energy, increase it, and send it back down to the manifest world here for it to manifest for us.
And they do, if we reach out, they always respond, which is such a beautiful thing, to know that somebody does care, someone is there, someone does understand.
Ask and you shall receive, but you have to ask.
You have to.
So that's why the powers that be have made it so that we're afraid to ask beings that really exist and that are easy. It's really easy to communicate with them. It's so easy. At least it has been our experience that, it's like you ask and they get right back to you. It's amazing. It's not like trying to get somebody on the phone at Google or YouTube. That ain't going to happen.
Well, yeah, if you're open to receiving information, but that's the thing, you have to break the programming and not be afraid to receive.
Exactly. So this is wonderful. So here you can see the effect on water through each word, and I don't have permission to play it, but I'll give you guys the link so you could, bask in the energies. It changes with each word. So it's beautiful. It's affecting the water vibrationally with frequencies. And again, there are 50 lotus petals on the chakras that line up on our spine. And there are also 50 Sanskrit letters, 50 different Sanskrit sounds. Each one is tuned to a different lotus petal. When we vibrate them, they open up. And, it's amazing. I can't describe enough the things that I've felt vibrating mantras.
Yeah, I know. And to me, these are things that should be taught from, kindergarten or preschool. We should understand how important our vibrations are around us and how they actually form our bodies, our brains, our thoughts, our lives.
Yeah, it's just so wild to watch. So I'll give you guys the link. Do check it out and watch it. It's amazing. And, this is part of how we can manifest changes, positive changes in our bodies, in our consciousness, and in the world all around us.
And it's just really fun to do and think about.
It is. So, guys, if you haven't, come and check out our website. I have to update it. We have like another dozen or so testimonials to update, so we just have had a hard time keeping up with everything. Anybody needs to reach out to us for any sort of reason, as far as biofield tuning, Vedic charts, energy work, it's EEARTS at ProtonMail or evolutionaryenergyarts at gmail.com. And Cindy's going to give us a little blessing here on the way out.
We're going to do two of them today. We got the 417 and the 528. So think happy thoughts. God bless and namaste.
God bless. Namaste, guys.